Hey guys, today we are going to be talking about how to make inferences and what an inference is. Well, it's basically taking what you know and making a guess. It's not really flat out told to you, hey, this is what it is, this is the answer. It's not written in the text, but based on our prior knowledge and our senses, we can develop an idea of what the story or picture is trying to tell us. We're drawing personal meaning from text or words or pictures. Some people make different inferences from the same picture or from the same text. And it's because we're taking a personal meaning from those words or pictures. You can use clues and come to your own conclusion. Again, you're coming to your own conclusion. It might be different than someone else's, but usually if we're in the same school or the same classroom, we have the same prior knowledge as most people, and we're going to be coming up with around the same conclusions. So make an inference. What does this image tell me? Well, I see that there's a cat, and it's Garfield. I know that because of my prior knowledge of reading comics and knowing that this is Garfield, but some of you might not have that same prior knowledge. So I know that this cat is Garfield, but I know that this red circle with a line through it tells me kind of no, or don't enter, or it's not something that we want. So that means there's no cats. To me, in that area or whenever I'd see that sign, it would say no cats. What did I already know that helped me make those inferences? Again, I already knew about Garfield, and I already knew about the red circle with the line in it. So that told me that that sign kind of meant no cats, or that picture kind of meant no cats. When I'm saying sign, I remember that red with a line through it. When I'm driving, I see that sign. It means do not enter. And red means stop. So all those signals and all that prior knowledge helped me form that conclusion. Did I use pictures or written clues? And because it was a picture, well, I used a picture. There's nothing else that told me what was going on. I just kind of used that picture to draw my conclusion. So let's make an inference on this picture. So I'm already looking at the picture. This says Yale 1996. It's a window, a refrigerator, a toaster, and there's cookies and mom. I'm inferring that this is mom because here's a child and there's looks like crumbs in the floor. I'm inferring that these crumbs are from these cookies. Without even reading the text, I think someone looks guilty. And the darn ants kept carrying them away crumb by crumb until they were all gone. That's my opinion. So I'm thinking that this is what this little boy or girl is saying, and they're trying to kind of protect themselves from getting in trouble by blaming it on the ants. What is your conclusion? What is your inference? And how do you know? I'm making this inference because I know this face. Somebody's not happy. And I also know that they look kind of guilty, saying it's not me, but the crumbs are all around them. Here's another comic. So a comic is good because it has pictures and words, and it makes your brain infer a lot. And you might not even know that you're inferring sometimes. Sometimes we just do it automatically. The little boy says, "You can draw something besides tigers, can't you?" "Sure. Leopards, pumas, ocelots, you name it." So to me, that's telling me that this tiger likes to draw a lot of cats because all of these guys are in the cat family. So I don't think he can draw much more than cats. So here is just a picture. And you can make a lot of different inferences just using the picture. And your inferences might be a little different than mine. There are some words. It says Earth, Venus, Saturn, Mars. I visited Jupiter, Pluto. So to me, this is kind of like the alien car or the spacecraft. And all of these are bumper stickers. And I think these are all the places that they visited. This looks like friendly aliens because of the smile. And it looks like they are moving because of the wind. So I'm making all these inferences, and I don't know if they're true. They might have only just visited Jupiter, and these are all the places that they wanted to visit. But to me, I think these are all the planets that they visited. What's your inference? So, Garfield, did you save room for dessert? Look at them. Did they save room for dessert? Oh, big eyes. Wah, ha, 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 ha. To me, right here, it kind of looks like they didn't save room for dessert, but they're laughing. So I don't know, are they laughing because they're too full? Or are they laughing because, duh, everyone saves room for dessert? Because I know I do. Even if I'm full, I'll still eat dessert. Not all the times, but sometimes on special occasions. And this looks kind of like a special occasion. So I think, of course, they saved room for dessert. Some days, I love my pets. They look like they're getting into trouble. And other days, I wish I'd keep the receipts. Crash. What are the receipts for? Well, to me, I'm inferring that the receipts are to the cat and the dog. I don't know that for sure, but I'm inferring that based on the crash and the nonsense that they're doing right here, they'd keep the receipts because I know if you keep your receipt, you can return something. I'm thinking he's thinking about returning his pets. And these are Garfield comics, like I was talking about before. Calvin, are you chewing gum in class? Do you have enough to share with everyone? Probably, but do you really think they'd want it? And he pulled the gum out of his mouth. I can see it right here. Nah, yeah, it was her idea. Her, I'm thinking is the teacher. I'm thinking this guy is the principal, and I think he got in trouble for sharing his wad of gum with the whole class. What do you think? Are you making the same inferences that I am? How do good readers make inferences? Well, they use words and text clues. So what the comic was saying, they use picture clues. What the details in the pictures, like the crumbs on the floor in that one comic, define the unknown word. So if we don't know something, we can use and go look up the words to figure it out. Look for emotions or feelings. We could tell that in the cookie jar cartoon, the mom's face was really upset and the child looked like kind of guilty, like, I didn't do anything, I promise I didn't do it. Use what they already know. So what do I already know? I already knew a lot about Garfield, and because I drive a car, and some of you probably ride in cars also, you see those do not enter signs. And so that made me draw the conclusion that they didn't want any cats in that area, or wherever that sign was put up. Look for explanations for events and ask themselves questions. So as I'm reading something, I ask myself questions. I ask myself, I make predictions. I use the title of chapters to kind of develop my mindset as I read the book. So now it's your turn. So here's your assignment. Based on what we've looked at throughout our PowerPoint presentation about inferences in comics, you get to choose. Do you want to be the reader or do you want to be the author? Well, if you want to be the reader, you need to find a comic strip from the newspaper. You need to cut it out and glue it on a sheet of paper. Write at least 3 inferences that you made. So you need to find a comic strip from a newspaper, cut it out, glue it on a sheet of paper, and write at least 3 inferences that you made. If you're going to be an author, you're going to design your own comic strip. Have a parent or friend make inferences about your comic, and then you need to write a reflection. Did they make the inferences that you were trying to create? So you get to choose. You want to be the reader or do you want to be the author? So you can either be making the inferences or design the comic strip so that other people can make those inferences. Now it's your turn, so I'm going to hand it over to you. I can't wait to see these tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful night. And again, you get to be the reader or the author. Thank you for learning with me today.